Hello everyone, this is John from OneHourAcademy.com. Welcome to Lesson 5 of HTML in 1 hour. If you haven't done Lesson 4 yet, you should really go back and do it first, because in Lesson 4 we started creating this awesome web page complete with table and headings at the very top, and this is really just a continuation to finish that off, so you really need to do that first if you haven't done so. I'm going to assume that because you're still watching this, you have done that and you can't wait to finish this off, because this has been a lot of fun. So in this lesson we're going to do an image. Now the thing about images is you have to save the image in the same location as your web page. Okay, Aptana organizes things nicely for us, and it puts our websites or our projects into different folders. Okay, so, and I think I've showed you this in a previous lesson. So if you go to your documents, Aptana Studio 3 creates its workspace there. If you open that up, there's a folder for each of your different projects. If I open up the virus site, this is basically the root of this website. So any images that I want to use in my site, I'm going to put them in here. Now you can use your own image if you want to, but if you want to use the one that I'm going to use for this actual website, you'll have to visit my course right at www.onehouracademy.com. So if you're watching this from my actual website, then you'll find it easily. If you're watching this from YouTube, then what you want to do, for a lot of reasons, is go to my site, because it's a great site and it's all free. So under the courses, HTML in 1 hour is where you need to go, and if you go directly to the course under part 5, this is the lesson we're on right now, images and hyperlinks, and there is the image you need there. So if I click on this, it actually opens the image in a separate page tab, and then from there I can just right click this, save image as. Okay, now it may want to save it into your downloads. That's not where you want to put it. I'm going to click on my documents folder, if I can find that. Where is it? There we go. And there's Aptana Studio 3 and my virus site, and I'm going to save it in here as compvirus.gif. So I'm going to hit save, and down it goes. Alright, so now that we have it where we need it to be, we can add it to our actual site. But before we add it to our site, I'm going to stretch this out a bit because we can take a bit more room here and see more of the editing screen. Another tag I'm going to throw in before we add the image is called the BR tag. And BR is like line break. Remember I said in an earlier lesson that it doesn't matter how many times you press enter when you're creating a web page. HTML doesn't recognize those enter keys. However, a BR is something it does recognize, and a BR stands for a line break, and it's effectively like pressing enter or pushing spaces between content on your page. So I want a little space between the table and where my image goes, so the BR will do the trick. So below that, I'm going to use what's called the image source tag. So if I go img src equals quote, and what comes up is a little pop-up menu of all the things available in the project folder. Because I saved compvirus in that folder, it comes up as an option now, which is another great Aptana handy feature. So I can just highlight it and press enter, and it inserts it right into my image source tag. Okay, and I just close that off like that. So if I go to save this and preview it, you can see the image, but it's a little bit on the big side. I'm going to make it a bit smaller by setting the width to 200 pixels. When you set the width or the height, HTML automatically scales the other side of it, so you never have to worry about stretching it too far across or too far up and down. It'll keep what's called the aspect ratio, so it'll adjust the other side of it accordingly so that it stays the same shape. Okay, so I'm just going to focus on the width, so I can actually add that as an option here. I can go width, and there it comes up, equals 200, okay, which means 200 pixels, which is a bit smaller than the original size. So you can always scale it down a bit if you need to. So if I save it now and push play, there it is in a much more manageable size. Okay, we're almost done this site. We're just going to add another line break, which is another BR, and we're going to add an H5 size heading, which we haven't seen yet. And we're going to add another one of these, report by, and you can just put your name in there. Now I wanted to do an H5 on purpose because I wanted you to see that the bigger the number gets, oddly enough, the smaller it gets. So heading 5 is actually quite tiny. It's even smaller than regular paragraph size font. I guess the best way to show you is just to show you. So if I save it and push play, there it is at the bottom. It's still bold because it is by definition a heading, but H5 is quite tiny. You can go as small as H6, just in case you're wondering. Okay, so the last thing we want to do is create a hyperlink between this page and the original one, which I don't have on my browser right now. I've got different versions of the one we've been working on in different windows here. Maybe I should close all these off. Okay. So to insert the link, what we're going to do is click up beside the word viruses, because I want viruses to be the actual hyperlink, but we'll have to move it back into the link code after. So for now, to start the link, go beside viruses to the left and type A. A is the anchor, it stands for anchor, which means to link to another page. Then we type href, which stands for HTML reference, equals, quote, and we're going to choose index.htm. I'm just going to press enter on that, and that means go to the index page. Okay, when I close that off, I get the other end of the link there, and basically whatever goes in between here, between A and /A, that becomes your hyperlink. So I'm going to take the word viruses out here. I'm going to control exit and bring it in here, and control V to paste it, just like that. Okay, and just close that up there. And that's going to give me a link back to the home page. Okay, so the first part of it is the page you want to go to. Then comes the thing that you're going to link on to get there. Okay, so if I save that and preview it, okay, there's my link right there. And if I click on this link, it takes me back to the home page. Okay, so on this page, I'm going to create a link from the word virus to the virus types page on the other page. So I'll do the same sort of thing. If I just go to the left of it, I can create my link by going A, href equals, quote, and there's my other page, virus types. I can just press enter on that, close that off, and then I get my /A, and I'm just going to put the word virus right in there and take it out from here. Okay, so that becomes my hyperlink for that one. So I'm going to hit save on that, and if I push play, there's the link to go to the other page, and this link takes me back again. Okay, so now I've got a two-page website with links going back and forth, and that's coming along nicely. So that's basically it for our 2 pages in our website, but there is one more piece of the puzzle that I want to cover in my next lesson, and that's cascading style sheets. We still need to put some style into these pages, and what we can do is create a third page, or a third file actually, that defines just how these pages look, and then we're going to hook both of these pages into that style sheet so that they look a lot more polished, I guess. So you'll get that in the final lesson, and then we're done. So this is John from 1 Hour Academy. Thank you for watching, and hope to see you back for our final lesson on HTML in 1 hour.